All right. Well, I'm Kat.
I'm Haley.
I'm Cassidy.
And I'm Amanda.
And this is a very special episode of Night Classy. We are crossing over with our friends at Drinking the Koolaid podcast. And what are we drinking?
We have wine, red wine as usual, so that's boring.
I was going to say, I see your box of wine up there. I love it.
We tried to do wine once and it didn't end well, so we can't
it was a
that.
really funny episode, but the next day was really troublesome.
Oh, so the hangover was the issue, or was it the editing?
Both,
yeah.
I was going to say all of the above.
It was editing hungover, I think, was the biggest thing.
That does sound terrible. We did vodka cranberries one night, and within one night, we split an entire fifth of vodka, and it was like the worst episode ever. Alex spent like an entire day editing it.
Yeah, we were
to make it sound normal.
We were stupid. I'm just still so sorry.
Yeah.
I would kill for someone to like hand off episodes where we were really drunk, because sometimes you know when you like don't want to hear stories about when you were drunk. Imagine just like listening to yourself when you're really drunk. It's like listening to stories but worse, because it's you.
Your own voice. Yeah, just being a drunk idiot.
Yeah, I really commend you guys for editing yourselves, because I used to sit there with Alec while he would edit us, and it would fill me with rage. Like, I would be seething by the end.
Yeah. Like, why am I saying that?
I do not edit. I don't have any control over that. That's all Cassidy, because I have this really big issue with mouth noises. So I can't listen to like any sort of sound that comes out of my mouth. That's not talking.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm as extreme as that, but I don't know about you, but when I hear someone chewing or like smacking their lips loudly, it sends me into a fit of rage. I can't do it. I will not do it. And
There's
I
a
get
name
irrationally mad.
No, it's like
it's
real
misophonia.
condition. Misophonia.
Yes.
I have it bad.
Me too, girl.
We both
my
have it.
gosh. My boyfriend will be across the room eating something, and I like turn around and I mimic him, and he's like, what? I'm like, don't you hear your lips?
And you're a preschool teacher, so you probably hear it from your kids. Does that bother you, or just from adults?
I haven't noticed it so much with my kids, but like when somebody chews with their mouth open, that's a real issue for me. Yeah, I don't want to be crazy, but it makes me crazy.
Amanda and I will be at a restaurant, and we'll be in the middle of a conversation, and someone at the table next to us will start chewing with their mouth open, and we both will just pause and be like, what is happening?
Oh my God.
I will literally whip my head around so fucking fast. It's not even funny. Like, I'm just like, what's happening over there?
Why?
Yeah.
She goes from Barbie to G.I. Joe real quick, let me tell you.
Well, we never got to hear what you're drinking. What are you drinking?
Oh,
I'm sorry. We derailed it.
I'm drinking a beer called the Tangerine Speedo.
Ooh.
Wow, he looks
cute.
interesting. He kind of looks like he's got a creeper face on a little bit.
He's long, lean, and tan.
He has like a very slender man like stature.
Oh, I might have fucked up. This is 7.2% alcohol.
Oh, don't do it.
It's a tall boy, too.
I'm in too deep already.
You're in too deep for sure.
I think you actually
late.
need to finish it now and then get a backup.
Yep.
I have three more.
Oh, good. Okay.
It came in a 4-pack. Are you kidding me?
All right. Well, almost one down, and then you've got to power through the rest.
Damn, girl. I'm just sticking with the Kona hard seltzer. We like this one, the strawberry guava.
It's my favorite hard seltzer.
I know, it's so good. You got me hooked on it.
I've never heard of that hard seltzer. I tried, what's the one from Texas? Do you know what I'm talking about? There's some hard seltzer from like Austin that's in all our grocery stores down here, and it was terrible. Maybe it's good I don't remember the name, so I don't call them out, but it was like undrinkable. And I don't know.
White Claw? No, I'm just kidding. I love White Claw.
Yeah,
Me too.
I like White Claw. Not a fan of, what's the other one? Truly? Not a Truly fan.
Really muted flavors with Trulies, I think.
There was this one drink that Cassidy brought over one time, and I don't know what it was, but it smelt like a butthole. And it also tasted like a butthole, so I don't know what it was.
Was it a seltzer?
It was not seltzer. It was a fucking wine cooler. And the only reason it was a Bartle and James mint and watermelon wine cooler. And the only reason I even got it is because it was like super, super on sale. And I was like, what's the worst that could happen? It's $4. And I had 2 of them and I was like, this is awful. Maybe Amanda will like it. So I brought it over for her.
Thanks.
Imagine putting mint in wine and thinking you can sell that.
No,
It
but
was-
it was grotesque. Like, it was really bad.
It was really it was a really jarring experience for all of us.
That is awful. That's like those wines that come in a can and then they taste like a can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like metal.
Kind of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I went
only
through that.
good wine in a can is the one from Trader Joe's, and I stand by that.
Okay.
I haven't had that. I've been
It's-
meaning to get out to Joe's.
So good. The sparkling rosé in a can, it's so good.
Honestly,
Good to
anything
know.
Trader Joe's does is just genius.
That's true.
Their avocados, oh my gosh, every time. They're always
Do
like
they have
they're,
special avocados?
they're just
No, but
always
Memphis-
ready.
Memphis, like their produce is notoriously like terrible at every grocery store but Trader Joe's. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
that's
gonna
probably
say
what it
y'all
is.
have it like we have it so good over here. Like y'all have to actually like look for good produce because here it's like every place you go.
I know.
There's
I
like
miss.
I have a lemon
sorely
tree in my
miss.
building. Like what is that?
It's not fair. That's what it is.
And I'll just walk over and pluck a lemon like I'm living in the Garden of Eden. Like what?
Yeah,
That's
and
so
Memphis,
lucky.
my hunter-gatherer instincts kick in going to the grocery store trying to find something that's edible.
It's unreal. Alec literally like had to have an intervention with us, and he's like, "Stop shit talking the grocery store every episode because you sound like Karens." But like, it's really so bad here.
Listen,
You guys
somebody-
just partner with a grocery store?
Yes, we did because it's the Kroger. It's the Kroger that we hate. So we partnered with like a small grocery store that has their shit together. But yeah,
That's
it's
okay.
just-
Then you can
it's just
talk shit on the other
unbelievable.
ones.
Yes,
I was gonna
exactly.
say, I did get my beer today from my favorite local corner store market. So, and they
There you
always have
go.
really good produce.
Good for you. Support
Good.
that local business. Not
Yes.
as local as that lemon tree, though, in your
No.
building. That's insane. I love that so much.
Super local.
Talk about local, yeah. And because the weather here is so weird, it'll like randomly have lemons on it at like times it shouldn't. Because we'll have like a really hot month in like December sometimes, and I'll like walk out and I'll be like, there's a fucking lemon on this tree. It's December 18th, and I'm getting a fresh lemon. I'm gonna take it. I don't even need it, but I'm gonna make sure I incorporate it. And I'm like, we're having lemon pasta tonight. That's it. Game over.
Yeah.
Your whole diet revolves around whether or not there's lemons on the tree.
Honestly,
You're like
Honestly.
strolling by whistling, you like pluck the lemon and just start eating it like an apple. That's how I'm picturing this.
I love lemons, so don't put me to it. I will eat a lemon like just raw. I love that
Ew.
shit. So good.
Raw, uncooked
you?
lemon.
I love tart stuff. Like
I know
the
you do
more
weird
sour,
shit,
the
but
better.
like, come on. That's too weird.
That's where you draw the line.
People love lemons.
It's like eating an onion raw, like taking a bite out of an
Okay,
onion.
let's not get out of control here. It
That's
is
the
not
same
like eating a
thing.
raw.
They're
It is
too-
if you're including the rind, it is
I
the
won't
same.
eat the rind.
She's not an animal.
I'm
Wait,
not
so you
Shrek.
peel it and then bite into it. You're not Shrek.
See, I told you guys would gang up on me. I'm the one with bad opinions.
That's true. Let's keep doing it. I like it.
This is a quick anecdote, but do you guys follow Am I the Asshole on Reddit?
I follow the Twitter page about it. Yeah.
Okay, yes. Someone posted on there the other day, they went to their husband's, like their in-laws' house, and their in-laws have this tradition where they pick oranges from the tree outside, and then they all eat them for breakfast, and they eat them like apples, like they eat the rind. It must have been a shit post because it was so crazy, but she didn't want to eat the orange like that, so she refused, and they got actually like really angry about her, and she made this whole post like asking if she was the one in the wrong. And that's what this makes me
No,
think
that
of.
whole family is
That's
just a bunch
hilarious.
of assholes, it sounds like.
Yeah, totally. That was the consensus, but how psychotic.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
extremely.
The rinds are not like they don't taste good. Like
They taste-
objectively.
They taste bad, just straight up bad.
No, you just shave them off and you put them in your drink.
Yeah, they're good that way.
Even when you get stuck chewing on one, like on accident, it's unchewable.
Cassidy, why would you get stuck chewing one by accident? I don't understand.
You know, like you're going in, you're just really hungry.
You're experimenting.
No.
No, I don't think that's ever happened to me.
You've obviously never had a lemon tree in your complex.
You know what? You're absolutely right. I do not have a lemon tree in my complex. So
You can't relate.
That's
what I'm getting. If I ate what came off of our trees in our yard, it would just be leaves. We don't even have trees anymore.
Our trees don't even have leaves.
Yeah, our trees don't have leaves. We don't even have trees anymore because like a sewage pipe like burst and they had to like dig up our whole yard. So
Our
we
yard
don't have,
is
like,
literally
any
just a giant pile of dirt, and our landlord refuses to fix it. It's been like this for 6 months.
Does it snow by you?
Not
no,
really.
but there's
Oh.
supposedly an ice storm tonight. And so we've been getting notifications on our phones all day about the ice storm, which really just means 30-degree weather. People in Memphis aren't used to it.
I've never been to Memphis. Sounds cool.
Yeah, it's
Post-COVID times. Come and stay. We'll show you around.
it is fun. When COVID's not happening, it's a really fun place to be.
I've never been to Memphis, but I was in Nashville last year.
It's like a small Nashville. Like if you just shrink Nashville and make it a little cooler, give it some grit.
Give it some grit.
Well, that was my issue with Nashville is I was like, wow, I feel like I'm at a mall all the time.
Yeah, Memphis is not like a mall.
Well,
not at all.
Memphis, do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like,
I know
Where
exactly what you
all of
mean.
this feels like you're trying to pretend like it's like a small business, but really it's corporate.
Totally. Yeah, the whole strip of Broadway. Yeah, all the bars and different levels. Yeah. Memphis really should be its own state. I think it's similar to Nashville with like their entertainment kind of, but it's a whole different flavor of Tennessee.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's so funny to me. You're like, Memphis should be its own state. Like we're starting a secession tonight.
It is a weird place. Like I moved here without ever having been here. I come from the West Coast and I've never seen anything like it. It is
Where are you from?
I'm from Seattle.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're from all over. Are you from Memphis?
I'm from Cincinnati,
Oh.
Ohio. Mhm. Yeah.
Ohio.
And I don't
I'm
know
from
where
Illinois.
Illinois. Okay, pretty close.
Yeah.
I'm from New York.
Oh, wow. We are from all over.
Yeah.
We've got everything covered.
Yeah, wow. Alec is from Memphis, so it's kind of like we've made almost not an X. That's wrong.
We've made a
We've made like a
diamond.
Y.
Made a
Yeah, diamond.
pentagram.
Yeah.
No.
We're summoning something right now.
The energy in this room, man.
They did have a seance.
Oh,
We
yeah.
did. Yeah. We have a seance about once a month for our Patreons.
Yeah, last time I think our spirit had a stroke because it was just a bunch of random letters and numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But it's real. I wasn't moving it. I don't know if
I
you were
wasn't
moving
moving
the pentagram. That's what it's called.
Planchette.
Planchette. Yeah, I don't know. I said.
You had a pentagram that you were just summoning the
Oh
devil.
my god.
Ooh, what if you moved the planchette in the shape of a pentagram? That'd probably be really bad.
It doesn't sound good.
No.
I can tell you that much.
Sounds bad.
I feel like that's
Oh,
something
no.
Cassidy would have done by now.
Listen.
I'm just saying.
Listen. This is judgment. See what I mean?
I'm sorry.
You thought we'd be on a team? We're obviously
eats a
mortal
lemon.
enemies.
I'm sorry. I am attacking you a lot. I
Me and Amanda
apologize.
did use a Ouija board when we were in college once, and
It wasn't a Ouija board. It was a pizza box.
it was pizza box and a shot glass. But we got some really intense communication out of it.
Like what?
What happened?
So we were using the Ouija board, doing that. We opened it. We were like asking it questions. It was like kind of barely moving, and we were all accusing each other of moving it, whatever. And it did like a really sharp move after one question. I can't remember exactly what it was.
I think it was how many people are in the room.
Well, that was the next question.
Oh.
So we asked it something, and it did like a very sharp move, and we all started saying like, "Oh, you moved it," because it was me, Amanda, our friend Kate, who we talk about all the time on our podcast, and I think Jamie, another
Yeah.
one of our friends. And we were like, "Oh, you moved it, you moved it, you moved it," like accusing each other. And as we're all accusing each other, I'm like, you know what, let's ask it a question. None of us are touching it. Let's do it. And I was like, how many people are in this room? And there was 4 of us. And with nobody's hand on it, it shot to 5. Like the shot glass literally shot across the board, across the pizza board to 5. And Amanda freaked out and blew out all of our candles for some reason. So we were in the pitch dark.
I didn't know what to do.
You know what? After this attack she's been had on me all night, I'm starting to think she was working for the demon.
Or the demon was working for her.
Oh my God.
There you go.
So you just sat there and you're like,
yeah.
She literally was like,
your fear response?
Well, then I jumped up and I turned the light on, and then everyone yelled at me. I didn't know the rules of the Ouija board.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
It's just like your escape response immediately. You gotta just get out of there. Yeah, I would have done the same thing. That gave me intense goosebumps just hearing about it.
Yeah, that is freaking scary. And Cassidy, I saw that video of the ghost moving your curtains. Holy shit.
yeah, so I was actually telling a story when that happened. I'm sure it'll be on Stories with Sapphire eventually, but I was telling a story about me and Amanda trying to astral project and how it went very south very fast. Yeah, we have a lot of really good ideas, guys. We're just always trying to do our best.
Oh my God.
So I was like, this is one of the scariest stories that's ever happened to me because my family, we all experience stuff. We actually are descendants, unfortunately, of the Proctor family from Salem. Maybe you've heard of them.
Dude.
Have you heard
Oh.
of
Yeah.
Whoa.
So the bloodline's been cursed for, let's say, centuries. And so my cousin, my dad, my ancestors, we've all experienced stuff. And for some reason, I was like, yeah, that means we should definitely try astral projecting. And shit went south very quick. And so I was just telling her that story about, Amanda and I trying to astral project and what happened to us. It was very not good. And as soon as I started the story, something moved the curtains in my room. And she was like, oh, is your window open? And it's like a door wall, which was, of course, closed. And my dog sits at my feet when we record, so she was right at my feet. And I lock my cat out of the room because my cat's an asshole who will yell at me the entire time otherwise. Amanda knows.
Oh, yeah.
So I have no idea what moved that curtain. It went viral on TikTok, and now the kids are making fun of my hair, so.
Aw, are they really making fun of you?
Yeah, what's
What are
wrong
you
with your
making fun of your
hair?
hair
for? Did you have a side
one of-
part? I heard
one
you're
of
not
the-
supposed to do that.
One of the comments was, the only thing that scared me in this video was that girl's hair.
Oh,
So
my
rude.
God.
Oh my
Listen,
There's literally nothing wrong with your hair.
and I'm depressed. Give me 5 minutes. I didn't brush my hair because we weren't supposed to release the video. We were just supposed to do the audio. So I didn't get ready, guys.
Cassidy, all you've ever wanted is to go viral on TikTok, and this is what
I'm
happened.
not like this.
Oh my God. That's terrible.
Oh, okay. Well, congratulations.
I see nothing wrong with your hair. I think it's cute. So I don't know what
Thank
that
you.
means.
I mean, she didn't shower the other day, but she showered today, so it's fine.
I
You showered for us?
did not shower
Oh, you
today.
didn't shower. Oh, never mind. You look like you did.
Thank you. That's
welcome.
my goal.
You look beautiful.
You do. Look at you.
I feel like going viral on TikTok is very similar to having a baby. You think it's a good idea, and then it happens, and then you're stuck with all of the negative side effects that nobody warned you about, like people telling you your hair is greasy.
You're like, I know. Okay, I know.
You're like, yes, I haven't showered in days.
Yeah, don't act like you've never had greasy hair before.
Right.
Commenter.
Quarantine depression? Heard of it? I thought so.
It's
Have some
Gen
empathy.
Z, man. Gen Z is just mean.
They are mean.
They act like they understand because they discovered depression during quarantine. Like, bitch, I've been doing this since 2005. Like, what do you want?
I was emo before it was cool. Yeah, speaking of Gen Z, I teach preschool, and one of my preschoolers today, I do one-on-one lessons after the actual class, and his brother came on and he was like, Miss Madden, I just want you to know that this student, my brother, we are not having internet issues. He was just ending class. Like, he was leaving class on purpose. He said he was getting bored because nothing was going on.
And he's
5 years old.
I feel like you have to respect that honesty, though.
No,
From his
snitches get
brother,
stitches.
From his
What?
brother,
Yeah.
not even the student.
I respect the kid. I wish I was smart enough to like hijinks in preschool.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
no.
like, it keeps kicking me out. I don't know what's happening.
I
was
respect
like,
that kid.
okay.
That would be me.
Exactly.
I know. I was like, what 5-year-old has the mental process to identify everything, like exactly how he can get out of class? That's like, yeah, virtual learning is hard and it's boring at times, but wow, what a feat.
Yeah, his 6th grade teacher is going to have a hell of a time.
Good luck.
That'll be me in 5 years.
He's the next Mark Zuckerberg. He's just in line for that guillotine real quick.
Ooh, I hope so. I hope so.
Sorry, Alec is giving us notes
Oh,
to move along.
sorry, Alec.
Oh no, this
Sorry,
was all
I just-
great.
I
I was
just
just
called
trying
him
to
out.
get them to move on to y'all's segment because we're at 30 minutes.
Well, this is just so fun. Also, we're not truly at 30 minutes because we started recording like when we
That's
came on
true,
the call,
that's
right?
true.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm doing my job.
Oh, see,
Fuck
maybe I
up.
should start doing this because, like, I'll let our banter go on for like 45 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Like, okay, time to cut it down to 15.
Yeah.
Ooh, rough.
That is
life.
rough. Yeah, when we started the pod, we would talk forever, and then Alec put an end to that after spending all of his weekends editing.
Been training us.
All right. Well, we are here for a reason. Cassidy and Amanda were kind enough to prepare lessons to give to us, and I'm ready to hear it.
Wait, you guys hype yourself up a little bit.
that's
You have your
true.
own podcast, of course, Drinking the Koolaid. Oh, you guys cover, it's like just a huge umbrella of everything mysterious, which I love so, so much. It's like your stories are things that I've never even heard about before. So I think you should give us some more detail since you're the ones who create it.
Do you want to go for it, Amanda?
I mean, we could tell it together. Basically, we are a podcast dedicated to the mysterious, as we always say. We do things like true crime, conspiracy theories, my personal favorite, alien abductions. Cassidy loves to talk about the government. It's just a whole slew of things.
Our podcast mostly is just like, we love the idea of having an open mind about how things might not be exactly the way you've been told that they are. And the problem with a lot of like conspiracy and whatever podcasts is that they're actual weirdos. Like,
Because we're not.
you know, like we're not like some QAnon, like anti anybody podcast. We just think it's interesting to think about what could be happening outside of what we're told is happening. So that means all sorts of paranormal activity and conspiracy theories and, of course, true crime sometimes, because there's a lot of crimes that have a lot of weird outcomes. And yeah, I guess. I'm not good at describing our podcast, I
No,
don't
me
think.
either.
I like that description a lot. The importance of having an open mind and kind of thinking outside the box, that so many factors in our life can lead us to think inside of a certain box and think of things a certain way. So it's really fun
Yeah.
to tickle, even if it's just tickling your mind on something that like might be, far-fetched, but it's important to do that, especially as adults. I feel like we really lose that sense of wonder and imagination after we've outgrown childhood. So it's really fun to tap into that with more, intense topics than just childhood things, I guess.
Yeah. No, I think that actually is a better description of the podcast than anything else. Like, we just want we want people to listen and be like, "Oh, never thought of it from that perspective." And like, we're very open about the fact that like most of the time we're like, "Okay, listen, we just have this weird theory. There's like a 50% chance it's possible, but we're going to spew it because we think it's interesting." And I think that's a good thing. I think like questioning everything around you is interesting. And I mean, that's how science came about. Like if nobody wanted to question whether or not the world was flat, we never would have figured out if it was round. So let's ask questions, let's be annoying, and let's drink while we do it.
Love it.
Wow.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right. Well, on that note, what are we talking about today?
Okay, so me and Amanda both have really interesting things that we came up with. You want me to go first, Amanda?
Yeah, I'm so intimidated just because like they're teachers and you're way smarter than me, so this is gonna be real interesting. So
You should not be intimidated. Like you could literally listen to like 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes of Night Classy unedited, and you might have not even met with us.
Also, like I'm so bad at my job. Like I'm not even a real teacher.
stop.
Yes, you are. Shut up.
No.
It's fine. I'm mostly unemployed, so we're all trying our hardest.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was laughing so hard. I forget what episode of Drinking the Kool-Aid it was, but you guys were talking about like you were just vibing and crying. And it was like you're like it's all bad vibes, but you're like we're just vibing.
Listen, sometimes we vibe. We just don't know what the vibe's gonna be.
That's
okay?
all we do.
To me,
I love that so
that's all drinking alcohol is. You're like, listen, this is gonna vibe. This is gonna reveal whatever vibe I was already feeling. So if I was sad, I'm gonna fucking cry. If I was feeling good, I'm gonna fucking feel good.
I just picture you like having merch where it's like we're something about vibing and it's you like holding a lemon next to the lemon tree. Like
It's like
Just
vibing
taking
and
one
crying.
bite out of it.
Vibing.
that's the vibe always, I guess, for some people.
Wow, incredible work. All right, well, just to bring that vibe right back down,
Perfect.
I like roller coasters.
my
good.
story today, or my lesson today, is going to be all about the bird deaths in Dee, Arkansas.
Oh, cool. What year was this?
This is
I'm
in
sure you're gonna
2010.
Do you know about this?
I've heard of this. Yeah,
Oh.
where a bunch of birds just like randomly died in excess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's crazy. Okay, wow, I'm excited.
I hate birds.
So she does.
Me
That's
too.
so I almost did this like bridge that dogs jump
Oh,
off of. It's like
God.
called the dog
the one in
suicide
Japan?
bridge.
No.
And I knew Amanda would just walk out of the recording. So I was like, okay, I know she hates birds, so I think I could get away with
Okay,
this.
thank you. I appreciate that.
That's love, baby.
Thank you.
That's love.
Yeah. Know your audience for sure.
Exactly.
For sure.
So my sources today were the avma.com, a New York Times article by Campbell Robertson, an article in The Atlantic, National Geographic. It was actually like a teaching unit about dead birds. Livescience.com, an ABC News article by Aaron McLaughlin, and of course, Wikipedia. So it's New Year's Eve, 2010. A simpler time. Imagine being in 2010, you guys, just for a second.
Man, I think I was in 8th grade. I was
you
really
guys are
depressed.
8th grade?
Young as shit. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, 2010.
yeah.
Oh, probably.
Wait.
Yeah, 2000.
Yeah, we graduated in 2015.
Oh
right?
my God!
Yeah.
What
So
the
like
hell?
freshman.
I'm horrified.
Wait, I thought you guys were our age. How old are you?
I graduated in 2011. I'm 27.
I graduated in 2009.
Wow, you guys are old as shit. We're pretty much Gen Z
Oh my
over here.
God!
Thank
I'm
you
gonna
for
be
being honest
30
with us,
this
at
year,
least.
guys. Now I'm sweating even more.
We run
Alex,
with
30.
30-year-olds.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We're mature
yeah.
for our age.
Yeah, solidarity over here.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, you
So
guys look
some
great.
of us would have
Yeah.
been playing.
You look great.
They're like, the Zoom has disconnected.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm so busy.
Okay, I'm just depressed now. No big deal. Whatever. It's fine.
So it's 2010. Some of us are playing with Neopets, cough, cough, not looking at the Night Classy cast. And some of
What's a
us were
Neopet?
graduating high school.
What's in your
I'm kidding.
You're like, what's a Neopet? Fuck you. Okay. But where we're headed today is the small town of Beebe, Arkansas. It's a sleepy little town, has a population just over a little bit of 7,000 people. And before 2010, there was absolutely no reason that anybody would be talking about this town. It's no different than anywhere else in the area. It has a very similar geography. There's no like nuclear plant there or anything that's worth mentioning. But the New Year's Eve of 2010 made things very different. As the townspeople gathered together and were celebrating the new year, not long before the countdown began, people started hearing noises coming from outside. And it wasn't the typical occasional firework or kids hollering, playing and having a good time waiting for midnight. No, instead it sounded like things were banging against their doors, their windows, their roofs, all sorts of things. This banging was coming from basically every direction in everybody's home all at once. And when the townspeople opened their front doors to see what was happening, they found something that horrified them. Birds carpeted the yards and streets of this small town.
That is straight out of a horror movie.
It really is, though.
What is so creepy about birds? What is it?
Their
Birds
beaks
are
Are
creepy.
disgusting.
Their beaks.
They are so gross.
Historically, beaks are disgusting. You're right.
Beaks are really gross. Also, you don't know what's underneath those feathers.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's like I was always told not to touch feathers on the ground and so that just put it in my mind that birds are infested with fleas, and I don't.
Also,
like
imagine walking out of your house and then you step on a beak and it crunches underneath your foot.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, that's all I thought about.
I didn't want to imagine that. I was just thinking of how loud it was, but now we're at a
I'm so
whole
sorry.
different level. So thank you,
It's
Amanda.
literally sickening. Anyway, there were birds as far as the eye could see, and all of these birds were dead.
I wonder how long it took for it to start smelling.
well, they probably cleaned them up.
They cleaned them up really fast, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good for them.
So what people assumed is that they had run into houses, light poles, garages, and cars. And as they looked upon this horrifying scene, the midnight fireworks started going off, and you could see the fireworks reflecting off the dark wings of these dead birds
Oh my
all over the
God.
city.
Were they all crows?
It was actually two types of birds. It was a red-winged blackbird and a European starling, which each have very dark feathers.
Ooh, gross.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
So the next day, of course, this news went insanely viral. And the reports about the birds and the people who had seen this scene the night before were like, listen, there was a lot of fucking birds. And at first people were like, oh, it was maybe a couple hundred birds. And then weeks later, days later, they were like, actually, it was 5,000 birds.
Whoa. Oh my gosh.
And even weirder, they only dropped within a 1 mile radius.
What were that many birds even doing in the mile?
So apparently,
I don't get it.
listen, you guys live in the South Light, I guess I would say it is. Right?
Yeah, it's the South.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently this part of the South, they're it's very much the middle of nowhere, and they have a lot of birds that roost in the town.
Yeah, I mean, Arkansas is just right over the bridge from us, and it's just state that is just a forest. I don't think there's anything else there.
Yeah.
Right. Occasionally you'll find a person. So they had
Yeah.
almost as many birds that died as there were people in the town.
Actually, yeah, there's only
Probably
2,000
more.
more people in the town than how many birds died.
Wow. Also, thinking about how the fireworks went off after they all died, that is, I think, all one could wish for something to happen when you died. Because as soon as I die, if a bunch of fireworks start going off,
And it's
I think that'd be pretty
glinting
sweet.
off your dead skin.
Yes, that's what I want if we
Off
can
your
arrange
dead wings.
that. Yeah.
Did a firework perhaps go off and kill the birds beforehand?
We'll get
Oh, okay.
into theories, okay?
Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Once again. So the weirdest part is this 1 mile radius was very precise. It was literally just a 1 mile radius, which, as you know, if you ever research anything, Like it'll be like, oh, 1 mile radius. And it's actually like, there was a little bit outside of that mile radius or a little bit within, right? No, they literally sent up helicopters and there was not a single dead bird found outside of this 1 mile radius.
So it was like a
Weird.
perfect circle.
Basically, yeah.
Birds of a feather flock together. Isn't that a saying?
Or die together.
Die together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't just one type of bird. It was the bodies of both red-winged blackbirds, which were a very common type of bird in the area, and also a European starling that were found dead on the streets. Some reports said that the birds fell closer to 11 p.m. than to midnight itself. And one New Year's Eve partier named Christy Stevens actually said that as she was out having cigarettes with like 3 or 4 friends, one bird just fell from the sky and hit her friend in the head.
No.
Absolutely not.
And they were like, and her
I'd laugh
exact
at you
quote,
so hard.
her exact quote was, "Yeah, we headed inside after that." I was like, you think?
If a bird fell from the sky and hit me in the head, I would just hope I would have fallen and then died immediately because I wouldn't want to live after that.
I would go to church for the first time ever. I'd be like, cleanse me, do whatever you need to do, spritz that holy water on me because something's wrong.
Time to repent, girl. Time to repent.
I don't know what I did.
I mean, here's the thing
It's a
though.
mystery.
When a bird poops on you, it's supposed to be good luck. So when a dead bird falls on you, maybe that's just like
You're
all
blessed.
the lucks.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's a
Cassidy,
good thing. I kind of hope a dead bird falls on me.
Only if it's good
Don't
luck.
Hot
say it.
take.
Okay.
If anyone needs it, it sounds like it's Cassidy with all your family drama and talking to the dead.
I don't want that. I don't want that dead bird. This is exactly why I don't let my cat outside. Cats
Yes,
bring home
big
dead
time.
birds.
Yes, they do. My friends have outdoor cats, outdoor, indoor cats, and they're constantly bringing them stuff. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Cats don't go outside. Alec and I fight over that.
The
Our
last
cats are
time
indoor
one of our cats got let outside, it was a $300 vet bill. So we don't do that anymore.
We've progressed past that.
Yeah, you live and you learn. You evolve.
So some people said that they saw the birds just falling straight out of the sky. And there was proof towards that because there were birds like in the middle of streets and on rooftops and places where they couldn't have like run into something and fallen dead, right? And there seemed to be no like rhyme or reason. Like one of the main theories for this was like that all these birds had like run into the houses. But if that had happened, wouldn't there be like piles of dead birds in front of these houses? But instead they're like almost completely evenly laid out on the streets.
Yeah.
So
there's no. Oh, sorry.
Right?
Go ahead.
No,
Yeah,
no,
I was just
interrupt
gonna say
me.
there's no way.
Did that
Yeah,
sound
there's no
mean? I
way.
meant it. Yeah, like I was like, yeah, bitch, interrupt me. No, I really meant it.
Want to fight?
See what happens. You're gonna find bird deads all over your yard.
You wanna meet a dead bird? I'm just kidding.
Whoa, all right.
It's the bangs. They're greasy. You can't control them. Yeah, no, it like just made no sense. And like a ton of people across the state were like, how are you going to say they ran into stuff when they're everywhere? There are places where there's nothing to run into. And despite this observation, the Arkansas Livestock and Poultry Commission released a preliminary report saying that all of the birds had died from blunt force trauma, and there was no sign of disease and no sign of any sort of like poison or anything in the bird systems. And they couldn't find any reason besides just like accidental death that caused this mass die-off.
It's just like a fender bender, but with birds. One bird stops short, and then everyone, the bird behind it hits it, and it just goes on for 5,000 birds.
They're like,
That's so stupid, and I'm sorry.
no, they're like, that's very Midwestern of you to say, because like that's what happens like when it's foggy or like this like a snowstorm, because you can't see the broken down cars in front of you, and you just keep hitting them and hitting them and hitting them.
I was going to say, that's a great theory. I liked it.
Thank you. Something tells me that's not it.
So this preliminary report also suggested a preliminary theory, and that theory was that people on New Year's Eve like to set off fireworks, and that the fireworks had scared the birds, and because they were flying low to avoid said fireworks, that had caused them to run into buildings, trees, light poles, etc. And that was like kind of all people heard like the night after it happened. And this New Year's Eve actually happened to be a Friday, and by Monday, all of the birds had been cleaned up. They sent people around. They actually hired like a whole agency to pick up the birds, and they put them in these like 5-gallon tubs
Ew.
and like carried them off. It's not good. And one of the like government agencies was like, you know what? It's not that unusual that this happened. I mean, think about it. We had like a little over a dozen ducks accidentally run into the side of a building a couple years ago. So it's just that on a larger scale.
Right. 12 ducks equals 5,000 birds. Yes.
Just brush it under the rug. Just brush.
Well,
So does that make you think that they know what was going on, or that they just don't want to do work? What do you think?
or that they're afraid of what might be going on.
Yeah.
Well, because everyone in like this town and like across the nation, because this was like peak internet era. Everybody knew about this, and everybody was like, if it was fireworks, wouldn't this happen every year? Because there's always fireworks, and wouldn't this happen on the 4th of July when there's more fireworks than any other day in the fucking nation? And also, it's 5,000 birds that are 2 different species, so they don't flock together. They're 2 different species. None of this makes sense.
So does that mean, like, with how they flock and migrate, are they typically in this area of BB at the same time?
So they are both typically in the area, especially the red-winged blackbird. That's like they almost call it like a pest species in the area because there's a lot of them. And the nightingale, the European nightingale, obviously is an invasive species. It was brought over here, but they have like a similar kind of vibe. They're similar in shape and similar in color. They're both like black with like a very little bit of color on them. But either way, like this is something that is very atypical of their behavior. And why would they all be doing it together? Because birds are very like speciesist. They flock together in their certain little flocks, and they do things together. So it's weird that it was 2 different species of birds doing this.
And maybe this is a really stupid question, but were there other types of birds there that didn't die?
There were other types of birds there, but those are the only 2 types of birds that died.
Weird. Okay.
I'm really glad you asked that question because I was too afraid to ask it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that just goes to show you should ask the question, even if you think.
Always ask the question. My mom always says that she's always thankful for Amanda because she always wants to ask the question that Amanda asks whenever I tell a story.
And that makes me feel great because I always feel like a dumbass. So
Yeah, and it's not stupid. It's just like I love to look at dumb Wikipedia pages at midnight.
you just say big words and I don't know what you're saying. So I need to figure it out.
Do you follow the Instagram? It's called Depths of Wikipedia. And if you like, do you?
No,
I was like, I don't.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I felt left out too.
You need to. You can't follow it because I get inspiration for night classy topics, so you're not allowed. But yeah, you should. If you like looking at random Wikipedia pages, then Depths of Wikipedia is your girl or guy or
neither,
person.
neither, or both.
Yep.
I just followed.
You will not regret it.
I do. I do that whole thing where you can go on Wikipedia and you can hit random and it'll take you to a random page.
Yeah, this is going to be for you, for sure.
Cassidy already knows every single story I ever tell, so now it's just going to be even more.
I've been habitually on the internet since I was like 14. It's not my fault. I'm a fucking weirdo. Okay.
It's not weird. It's not weird at all.
Thank you.
Sorry, go on.
Cheers to that.
All right. Tell me about these birds, bitch.
So By January 5th, 2011, the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission had come out with their official final report, which stated that professional-grade fireworks being set off had scared the local birds, and the birds had, in a panic, flocked and then ran into various buildings, just dying on impact, because the official autopsy report for these birds was all blunt force trauma.
Is there anything to back them up? Back that up? Like, did they have broken bones and stuff? Like, is it true that they died of blunt force trauma?
So the one thing that came out of 30 of the birds that they tested is that they had broken rib cages, and that they attributed that to they must have run into a building or something, and that must be blunt force trauma.
Okay.
Weird. Also, this is reminding me of that episode of The Office where they have the funeral for the bird.
The bird. Oh, that's such a good episode.
And it's like Dwight who plays his like recorder or something and Pam sings. Yeah. I hope they had a mass funeral.
Oh, they should have. I would have.
No, birds are
should have.
gross.
Okay, sorry, Amanda.
Them birds.
The bird hater. The thing is, they also tested them for like drugs or any sort of like pollutants, and they had nothing else wrong with them. Literally, the only sole reason that they died was this blunt force trauma. And while they were like, yeah, we think this is what happened, this is our official report, the one thing that they were the most secure about was that they promised that this event in no way, not even possible, had anything to do with the death of over 100,000 fish in Arkansas only 2 days before in a river that was about 120 miles south of this area. And this was actually the largest mass fish die-off in that area in decades.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
That's our favorite song.
Me too.
But seriously, everything they said, they were like, yeah, this is just a theory. We're like 99% sure this was what happened. But the one thing they were like, 100%, no way it's related to this fish die-off, which was like also super extreme and weird and rare.
So we don't think that the birds ate the fish and then they died because of whatever was in... No? Okay.
I don't think so, because they were like... So this was 120 to 130 miles south. And at this time of year, birds wouldn't be migrating north. So I don't think that they ate those fish, I'm going to assume. But yeah.
Did they eat something that the fish ate, though?
They could have, if Arkansas is fucking around with their... whatever the fuck they're doing.
I mean, I don't know what Arkansas does, but...
Listen, I don't know Arkansas and what she's up to.
Me either, man. Alex's parents go fishing in Arkansas.
Oh,
do they know?
Don't eat that. Don't eat that fish.
Can neither confirm or deny.
You sound like you know something.
Yeah. They'll never know. How would they know?
Suspect. Yeah.
So, of course, people had a ton of questions, and they kept trying to ask, but there were no real answers, and there's also not like a ton of evidence that they could investigate. So people just kind of moved on and chalked this up to like a weird environmental thing, like an anomaly, like anomalies happen. That's why the word exists, right? And in an attempt to keep from it ever happening again, because they decided it happened from fireworks, the local government in that area banned fireworks of any size and canceled any official firework events.
What if the mayor was just like the Grinch and he hated fireworks, so he orchestrated all the birds dying so that he could make this order?
He just poisoned a bunch of birds.
Yeah, exactly.
He was like, they scare my dog.
Yeah.
You're the governor's wife and you walk into his office one day and he's got this whole like system set up to mass like poison the birds and the fish. You're like, what the fuck, Don? This again?
Well, I hope he was the one out there cleaning up the fucking birds.
You would hope. Bet he
No, he
fucking
definitely
wasn't.
wasn't.
So many
I love
birds.
this hypothetical situation. We're getting mad at this.
Come on, Don.
You're like, fuck that Grinch mayor.
Of course he wasn't there. He never is.
So, of course, the next year comes along, It's New Year's Eve, and there's like a severe lack of fireworks because it's illegal to sell them, it's illegal to set them off, and like people are kind of on edge about it because what happened the year before. But right after 11 p.m. on New Year's Eve 2011, locals were astonished to come outside and see even more dead birds.
No, it did not happen again.
It did.
But it didn't happen on the 4th of July that year?
Nope.
It's raining birds.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So the local news station reported seeing on their radar a large cloud move over the town, which they assumed was just birds. And then the birds started dropping dead again.
What the fuck?
It was significantly less this time. It was like in the hundreds, not in the thousands. But of course, this piqued people's interest in the stories because they had banned all use of fireworks in the town, all selling of fireworks. So there's way less fireworks than there were any year prior, really. And when the government kind of just was like, oh, well, it must just been fireworks again, this fed into people's interest in the story and distrust of the original official statement.
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
Another strange detail of this second wave of deaths is that the first calls about the birds dying actually started as early as 7 p.m. People called the police saying, hi, like I was walking down the street and a bird just dropped from the sky onto the ground out of nowhere. And there was no apparent reason. Like it didn't like run into a building or whatever. They just was like, we're walking down the street at 7 p.m. and a bird dropped out of the sky. And there was multiple calls to the police department that night saying that at 7.
Would you guys call the police for that? I feel like I wouldn't know who to call.
I wouldn't call the police.
Only if there had been a mass death the year before.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That kind of sets the scene.
Yeah. Are you okay, Amanda? You seem like you're panicking.
No, my logic just turned off, so I'm like,
I was
trying
like,
to figure out
I just
what
saw you
happened. Yeah, I know, because I couldn't hear you guys for like 5 minutes, and I was just sitting here like, what the fuck do I do right now?
Oh.
Okay. It's working again, I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it sounds great.
I was just sitting here like in a silent movie, like having a freaking
I know. I saw you were like,
I know. I was trying not to, but you know, I'm Italian.
you were like the weekend at the Super Bowl halftime show. It's a lot.
Oh my god.
I thought you were like getting a text or something you had to deal with, and I was like, I'm not gonna get in her business.
Yeah,
It's her business.
I was texting Cassidy like, I can't figure this out.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I have my phone on Do Not Disturb.
Okay, we're back. We're live. We're good. Okay.
We need to come up with like a code word for if something like that ever happens again.
My sound went off. Yeah, it's a text.
I literally was trying to not make it obvious, but then I realized that I just was flailing.
like-
so
She's over here drowning, and we're like, I don't know. Would you call 911 if a bird landed on you?
She's in a haunted house over there. We're like, yeah, I would
She's
just
like,
stay out
I'll tell
of it.
you what I'd call.
oh my god, embarrassing. Okay.
Where was I? Oh, the birds. So this event was way less publicized than the other one, probably because there was a lot less birds that died. But it was really unusual that there was another mass bird die-off on New Year's Eve in this very small town in Arkansas. Of course, this led to a litany of other theories about what happened there. And I think we should get into some of the more popular ones. So, biologist Reese Halter told MSNBC, flocks do come down, whether from noxious fumes or cold weather. There's death everywhere. Terrifying.
He's like, birds die. So what?
Was it cold?
He was really
when they
like,
died?
fuck them birds. It wasn't any colder than it normally is, which is why people were like, yeah, we don't think that's what it was. And once again, they tested all of these birds for any sort of toxins or any sort of pollutants, and nothing came back positive. So just a horrifying statement to be horrifying, I guess. Thanks, Reese. Another theory that's very popular with online theorists is that there was some kind of sonic weapon that happened, and the birds were either disoriented or their internal navigation skills were cut off, and that caused them to run into things and cause severe brain damage. And there's also this idea that if there was some sort of sonic weapon that happened, that could have actually caused the damage in the first place, making the birds drop dead, which would be similar to the Havana syndrome, which
Yes, ma'am.
We know about that.
yeah, we did an episode about it. Have you guys done an episode
They did
about that?
too.
Yeah, we've done it too.
So the whole idea of that is that there's this noise that literally caused brain damage in human beings. So imagine if they had something similar, and these birds obviously have much smaller brains and much smaller bones than we do. If something went off in the area.
I thought that
Sorry,
was a
my
bird.
dog.
I literally thought there was a bird flying around.
She just shook her head.
Holy shit. Hi.
Something is going off in
I was
the
like,
area.
they're here.
Oh. Oh, she's so cute.
No.
Does she have a little white line going up her face down the middle? I had a
Okay, go lay
dog who
down.
did the same thing when I was little.
Go lay down. Go. Sit. Hey, no. Sit. Good girl.
She doesn't
That
like
did
the
sound
birds.
like a bird's
She doesn't
wings.
like
She
it.
did.
Flapping.
She's like, fuck these birds. But yeah, so like the idea would be like if they set off something similar to the Havana syndrome, it would obviously kill birds where it would just concuss humans, right? And it could have been like the testing of some kind of biological weapon.
Did the birds have vertigo?
I mean, they just died, so I couldn't ask
I mean,
them.
if their like balance was off and then they like hit things, no?
There were people who said that they witnessed birds earlier in the day acting quote unquote drunk.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'd love to see that personally.
A drunk bird? Immaculate. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
Definitely. Yeah. I'm highly interested in that. I might make it happen.
You're like, what are the ethics behind getting a bird drunk?
I guess it depends on who you are, because a lot of people hate birds. I've met a lot of people who have a weird thing about birds, especially pigeons, because their
Yeah.
eyes are so beady and gross.
I haven't seen a pigeon
Yeah.
in so long.
Me either, actually. I don't think I've seen a bird in a long time.
They're all dead.
I haven't seen a
So-
pigeon since quarantine, I don't think.
Are they
Yeah.
quarantining too?
Apparently, I haven't seen a single pigeon.
They take COVID more seriously than we do. Wouldn't surprise me.
that won't
Either,
surprise
yeah.
me either.
So that was kind of the idea, is like that maybe they were like testing this weapon and it just affected these birds in a way they weren't expecting, or maybe that's what they were expecting.
But like, why would it affect just these two species of birds?
Yeah, that's what I'm
And
wondering.
no other animals.
It's so
Right.
weird, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Are these birds I mean, this is such a crazy question. I don't know why you would know this, but are these birds the smallest birds in the area? Like maybe they have the smallest brains.
They are small.
Okay.
Like they're definitely smaller than like ravens or crows,
Yeah.
or even like ducks or whatever. Like, you know, they're pretty small. They're like maybe a couple inches across.
Okay.
But they're also the most common bird in the area.
Okay. So do you think maybe there were other kinds of birds? It's just like there weren't enough for it to be noticeable.
That very much could be the fact, yeah. Because there's a lot of things that you read that are from directly after the mass die-off that say, oh, it was only these red-wing blackbirds. But then when you read stuff that's from like a longer time away, they'll say, oh, no, but there was actually these other starlings and stuff involved as well. And I think it's because the majority were these blackbirds, but the blackbirds are the majority in the town all the time.
Yeah, because whatever theory you come up with, like it doesn't make sense that it's only two types of birds.
Yeah.
But if they're like the smallest ones, it makes sense.
Yeah, and like
I don't know.
they're small, but they're not like, it's not like it's like a bunch of hummingbirds, you know?
Yeah. I like pulled up a picture of one and actually like it's pretty cute.
They
Yeah,
are,
it's
I don't
right?
really.
pretty.
Yeah.
They're pretty.
It has kind of a
birds.
fuzzy head and it looks like it's smiling.
Ew.
Yeah.
Doubt it.
It looks like it's smiling.
It does. It's got a sheen to its eye. It looks happy.
So At the time, there was a lot of people who thought this was somehow involved with the Mayan apocalypse theory.
Oh, yeah, 2012.
Yeah, so...
Dang, what a time.
They start with the birds and end with the humans.
Well, because, like, obviously, birds dying is, like, a big thing in, like, horror movies and stuff. So people were like, oh, this must be some sort of, like, ominous omen. I'm opening Alex.
I know, me too. This bird better be cute.
Cute.
They're really cute, right? He looks happy.
Yeah.
It does.
For some reason, even though its name is Red Wing Blackbird, I didn't think it was going to have a red wing.
On a blackbird.
Yeah, it's oddly descriptive. I don't know what to think.
It is what it is.
I don't like it.
Amen,
You're
sister.
a curly-haired white girl. It's a red-winged blackbird.
That's what they say.
Just gotta call it like you see it.
I call them like I see it. So, obviously, the Mayan apocalypse did not happen. And it was not a warning of that, because that's what people thought. But the final theory is the most interesting theory to me. And it's either that it was aliens or alien technology that caused this.
Yes.
So if you've
Yeah, can I...
That's what I want it to be.
Can we say our theories? Do you guys have theories?
Oh, yeah.
I
do you
have a
want
theory.
to go into it? Let's go
I have
theories.
a theory too. I'm thinking of that episode of The Simpsons where they suddenly live in a bowl and there's a force field that goes around the town.
You think of the Simpson movie.
Do you remember that? Yeah, the Simpson movie. It's not, okay. It's been a long time since okay. So it's the Simpsons movie. And I'm imagining there's suddenly a force field around the town and it would just like whacks all the birds and then they all die.
But what happens to the birds in the middle of the circle? Why wouldn't it just be a...
Well, maybe it starts off like it comes up from the like a little
just gets
lower,
bigger and
like
bigger.
it just expands because like there's not going to be anything higher than like the buildings except for trees and birds,
Yeah.
and then it would like kill.
Okay,
all the
I see. I
birds.
see what you mean. Yeah, the creation of it
Yeah,
knocks them out. Okay.
I don't
I
know,
like that. I like that. What about what? There's just 2 species though.
but maybe those are like the only like substantial birds in the town.
They all have like
What other
sign up-
birds are there? Like maybe there's a hawk or two, but it's mostly starlings.
They all have like designated times for flying in the sky, and that was those 4 hours that night was their turn.
Well, so that's the thing is
Maybe-
those birds actually never normally fly at night at all.
Weird.
That is weird.
What?
Yeah. So twist ending. Those birds are completely daytime. They're not nocturnal. They actually have really bad nighttime sight, which is why people thought, oh, maybe they just ran into things. But
Yeah.
then why were they found in the middle of the street where there's nothing to run into?
Yeah.
What if they ran into a plane and then fell from the sky?
How many planes do you
I
think
don't
there are?
know, but
Well, maybe it was aliens. Like maybe the aliens had like a force field around a giant ship in the sky and they all hit it.
that's
Well, so that's what
good.
people think is that there could have been some sort of either beam where they were like, aliens were checking in on this town. That's why it was a perfect 1 mile radius. Mm-hmm. And that beam fucked up like the internal GPS of the birds because birds basically fly with like an internal GPS system. And if that is like messed up, similar to like what people think happens in like the Bermuda Triangle, right? Then they could have just like chaosed and ran into each other, which birds never normally do. Ran into each other, ran into things, and then that could have solved why they didn't die all in one place because they were also running into each other.
Or maybe birds are way more complex than we ever knew, and they were in a cult and committed mass suicide.
Bird suicide.
Maybe.
Aw.
Bird
Bird
suicide.
Do you just say on?
I
You've
know.
been talking this whole time about how
I
you
felt
hate birds.
bad for a second. I don't know why.
She's confusing. She's a complicated character.
For like a split second, I was like, "Oh, that's kind of sad." But you know what? Fuck the birds.
I mean, suicide is sad.
It is.
It's a terrible thing.
Even for the birds.
Hot take. Yeah.
Even for the birds. Amen. Okay. I don't. That's like the second time I've said that. I'm not religious. Okay.
Yeah, if you've seen the horror movie Dark Skies, There's a whole bird scene. It's like an alien horror movie where all the birds run into their house. Birds and animals committing suicide or completing suicide is like a big theme in horror movies because I think it's so fucking weird. Like, people don't expect it.
What if
Either
it was
way,
mass hysteria?
by the birds?
Yeah. Like one bird got scared and then dropped dead, and then all the birds got scared and dropped dead.
But you would think then what caused it and why doesn't it happen more often, right?
The satanic panic of birds happened that night. And then once again the year later.
Listen, this is why it's a mystery, okay?
And the fish too.
Yeah, the fish too.
And the fish, yeah.
Yeah. I really like your theory that they did it on purpose, that it was
Thank
organized
you.
by the birds.
Thank you. You have to have high expectations for people and animals.
I think
Bird
that's the
cult
least
leader.
sad version too. Like, if they did it to themselves, at least they had a little bit of control over it. We didn't just like worry them with our...
I don't think that's less sad.
Oh, is it? No.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think it'd
never
be
mind.
Because, like, I mean, when I think mass suicide, like, I think of like the people in Jonestown. Like, they were in a cult, and that was a very sad situation.
Well, then you have the whole lead up. You know it's going to happen.
Were these birds being
it's
forced to
terrible.
run into buildings, or were they doing it on their own volition? We'll never know.
The birds
We don't know.
drank the
That's the
Koolaid.
mystery. They drank the Kool-Aid.
It all comes together.
Wow, that was really magical.
But yeah. Either way, mass animal die-off is like a pretty common thing, but not in this particular way. And usually it's caused by disease, which is easy to roll out. Don't get me started on prions.
I don't even know
I
what
have no idea what
is.
that means.
Oh, okay. I just figured because you guys are teachers, when I said prions, you'd be like, oh, yeah, prions. Okay, I'm sorry.
Girl, I teach how to add negative numbers.
Oh, I can't do that.
-2 plus 3.
I teach numbers.
Yeah.
The way
And letters.
I can't do numbers, but I know about prions.
Cassidy, you could be a teacher. You could be a science teacher.
Yeah, you could.
maybe.
You could.
No.
You could.
But it's this weird like trauma, but they didn't cause, like, there's no cause of the trauma thing that makes this so fucking mysterious, and there's absolutely no explanation. And even most scientists will say, like, yeah, maybe it was these fireworks that caused them to flock in a weird direction and run into stuff, but there's no way we can explain, and we'll never know. So there you go.
That's them just being like, I'm not gonna say there's aliens,
Yeah.
but if you figure it out on your own, then
It's totally that thing. No one wants to be the person that suggests aliens.
yeah, and then you would just get turned into a meme.
Yeah.
What if the aliens like were beaming down like to check in on this town because they had chosen this town as like some sort of weird whatever, and they just accidentally fucked up the birds and all the birds died?
What if we're living in a simulation and they used a cheat code that accidentally killed all the birds and the fish?
Exactly.
They were like,
yes.
thought this would give me $1 million. Instead, it killed all the birds.
We are absolutely living in a simulation. And yes, that is absolutely true. That's what happened.
100%. 100%.
R.I.P.
Wow, we fixed it.
Yeah, we
It's-
figured
yeah,
it out.
There we
Solved.
Listen, whoever's controlling our simulation, if they drop dead birds on us now, I'm going to really freak out. So
A bird did poop on me like 3 days ago.
that's good luck.
Wow. I remember one time I was laying out after swimming with my friend, and we were laying out in the sun, and I had fallen asleep, and then she like yelled at me. She's like, "Did you just throw something? Did you just throw this at me?" And I look over and a bird had pooped all down her back. And that's the only experience I've had with bird poop.
I love it. Iconic.
Iconic. Yes. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I forgot about the fish dying too. And it's still a mystery.
It is.
I mean, we just solved it now, so we have to call the press. Somebody get the media on the phone.
We are the press.
I am the press.
That's true.
Yeah. That's wild. I don't know how I never heard. Like, I feel like I vaguely know about that, but I think I always just thought that I'd seen it in a movie. Like, why was that not a bigger deal? I feel like I don't know.
I mean, I was
You
an
knew
old
about it.
lady when this happened, obviously. So when this happened, I actually remember reading about it live in the newspaper.
Oh, wow.
Wow. You could read when this happened?
Yeah. I was like almost of consenting age when this happened. Jesus.
I was, so.
Oh my god.
And I didn't hear about it because I can't read. So
It's like it's 100 miles away from here, so we could drive there for a Patreon.
We should go there on New Year's Eve.
oh my God, stop.
Yes.
Hey,
we should rent
listen.
a cabin. And
Don't tempt us. We'll come out.
you should. Next crossover episode, next New Year's Eve.
I don't.
Fly out. We'll get a cabin in bumfuck Arkansas.
We're gonna bring both Ouija boards we have. We might add several by that time.
Yeah, I
We
want a
have
nice
2.
wooden one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Next on my list.
just because I know you guys can see this. Look, we have like some new merch that we're.
Oh,
yeah.
wait.
Wait, turn.
Mine too.
Front door locked, mind open, and keep drinking. That's so cute.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. We literally
Cassidy
just
made these.
designed a 70s looking one
Oh,
like
really?
that. Those are badass. Yeah.
Yeah.
I taught
that looks
myself
awesome.
They
Photoshop.
look so good. Wow. Good job.
for you.
Those are really good.
Yeah, I love the
Wow.
colors.
Yeah, you guys, if you're listening to this, go check out that merch.
Yeah, what's the link for merch?
Cute.
You can find it on dtkpod.com/support.
We'll put the link in the show notes if you guys want to click on it and get some merch. All right. Well, thank you, Cassidy. That was amazing.
That was amazing.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Is that number 2 you're cracking open?
Nice.
All right. So excited
Yeah.
to kick back and listen to another
We're ready.
God. Okay.
mysterious learning journey.
Instantly sweating, so this is gonna be great.
Amanda's always really sweaty when she tells her stories.
Yeah. Well, now I have
God,
to
I'm
teach
constantly-
teachers something.
Oh, don't.
I really think you're not understanding. Like, we did not.
You
We're
went to
not
college,
ranchers.
okay?
You're 100% overestimating. Like, we we didn't go to school to be teachers.
No, we went to
It
school
was
and then
a
couldn't get a
happy-
job anywhere else.
Well, that's not true. It was a happy accident. I don't know
That's
about
true.
you.
That's true. I don't want to. I chose it. I chose it.
We were.
All your students
we
listening?
quickly became. Yeah.
I know that's a big.
All
That's
of
a
her
major
kindergartner students listening, imagine.
fear. My kids are 11. They could listen, which is a terrifying thought.
Yeah, that is terrifying. That is terrifying.
I wonder if they know what a podcast is. I've never asked them because I'd be so. I'm like so scared they're gonna be like, "Why are you asking me what a podcast is?" And whenever I pull up YouTube, our Night Classy, because I'm logged into Night Classy's YouTube on my computer, so I'll show them YouTube videos, and you can see my little profile picture
They're gonna find you.
that says Night Classy on it. And I am just waiting for the day.
Well,
I'm waiting.
We have like 14-year-old listeners.
We do.
We do.
I mean, I would have been
awesome.
14 years old listening to your guys' podcast. Like, I don't even want to think about the things I was doing when I was 14 years old.
I don't
Like,
even
listening to the
remember
podcast
what I
would
was
definitely
doing.
not be the worst thing.
I think
that
I was
did.
reading Twilight over and over
Oh,
again.
same.
Did we even
Mood.
have podcasts when we? Yeah.
I don't know if podcasts existed when I was 14.
Yeah, I don't think they did. I don't remember them.
I think they probably did, but they were not as easily accessible
Yeah.
or really talked about.
I was watching YouTube. I was watching like Jenna Marbles.
Jenna
and
Marbles.
Fred.
Oh my
my
god,
God.
yes.
Yeah.
Love that
Wow,
shit.
I forgot about
Yeah.
Jenna Marbles.
Yeah, she was the best. She was an inspiration to a whole generation.
She would do anything to her hair, to her face.
Yeah.
Great.
Shout out Jenna Marbles.
Shout out. She really needs it from us.
She's done.
She's done with YouTubing?
Yeah, she quit like a couple
Oh.
months ago.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I would
Look
too.
at you up on the Jenna
I know,
Marbles.
wow.
Because she got like canceled.
Oh,
Oh shit.
Oh, really?
Scratch everything I just said.
Whoa, no. We can't just submit to cancer culture.
Yes,
Why
we
is she
absolutely
get-
can.
Cancer culture.
Wow, I did not even
Cancer
realize
culture.
that's what I said.
I mean, she probably should have been canceled a long time ago because she had some questionable
true.
videos.
Well, so that's
back
what it
when we
was.
were
Like it was like
kids.
her old
Yeah.
videos, and then she actually kind of canceled herself. She like came out and was like, "Listen, I realized like I did a lot of like Latino and Latina like stereotypes, and I did a lot of like misogynistic content." And people were like, "Yeah, that was in like 2011. Like, get over it. Like, it's fine." And she was like, "No, I need to take some time." And so she stopped making YouTube videos. Like,
wow.
I think it was like 5 months ago because of that.
Canceled herself.
I think
Okay.
I think good for her. Yeah. You got to cancel yourself before the people cancel
True.
you.
That's my goal.
Right.
Tell Chris Harrison.
Yes, Chris Harrison. We were just talking about this. I broke the news to everyone, and we literally just recorded 4 episodes of our new Chris Harrison podcast. So this is a great timing. Probably put a statement in the next one, but keep going.
I say still
we
release
tear
it.
him apart. His book is fucking terrible.
Yeah, it's awful.
Just keep running him into the ground when you talk about him, and it'll be fine.
Alec is holding up our books, but we just had some fun. It was really good. You guys should come guest on it. Get yourself some books.
I'd be down.
It is the worst book. We read 1 chapter of it. It took us 4 episodes, and every sentence is a paragraph long, and like an entire lifetime passed in 1 chapter. Like this girl, it was crazy. It was so crazy.
Yeah, if he actually wrote this book, he doesn't know how to write, and whoever did write it doesn't know how to write because, yikes,
He absolutely
Big time yikes.
hired a ghostwriter.
It was probably his girlfriend.
For sure. No, because she had never even read it. She posted an Instagram the other day of her reading the book for the first time. I'm like, your boyfriend wrote a book in 2015 and you're just now reading it? That's what told me he didn't write it. Like, if Alec wrote a book, I'd read it. But if he hired a ghostwriter to write him a book, I wouldn't read it.
Oh my God. My
know?
ex-boyfriend never listened to a single episode of the podcast. Is that like a sign?
I mean, my husband doesn't
What?
listen to our
Yeah.
podcast either.
Oh my God.
Never. He never has.
He has like a couple times, but not really. He supports it. He thinks we're great.
How does he know you're great though? It sounds like he's just.
I'm
blowing
imagining
smoke.
that. Do you guys know that meme? And it just is like the red button that says divorce. You're pressing on it.
Hey, yeah, I'm right there.
I'm sorry. I
That's
don't.
literally my life this week.
He did buy a ton of shit for me to do this podcast, so we will. we'll
Okay, I
support
think
him.
that's great. As long as he's at least listened before, because I think if they didn't listen at all, that is where it's like, you couldn't even listen to
I
one.
kind of
Yeah,
told
my,
him
like-
not to though, because I was like self-conscious about my own voice.
That's fair.
But
No, yeah, my
Yeah,
ex just never
Not
listened.
that you should be self-conscious, but it's like it is
yeah,
scary.
relatable.
Yeah. Like, I was scared to post on my Facebook about my own podcast.
me too,
at
for like
first.
25
I was-
episodes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that was her.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
literally would not post on her Instagram or anything, and I was like, "Girl, you have like 10,000 followers. Like, hook us up."
Yeah, I would not post at all, and now I'm like, fuck it, let's go.
Yes. All right. Well, I'm
Okay,
ready to
okay.
hear another story.
All right,
I
here
don't
we
know
go,
about
here
you
we go.
guys.
So I'm gonna tell you guys, which I think is pretty close to you too. So you probably have heard this one.
Oh, did we both do the South?
Yeah, we did.
Oops.
And also ours are very similar, Cass. I was like,
Whoops.
so today I'm going to tell you guys the story of the Kentucky meat shower.
Ew. Wow. Is that a porn?
It's not porn, surprisingly. It's not.
What if it was just like the working name of KFC before they got a name?
I was telling my husband about this story, and he was like, "Oh yeah, a meat shower." I was like, "What? Is that a thing?" He was like, "Oh no, I thought
that a
I thought
thing?
that was like a sexual thing." I was like, "I don't know."
Wait, should I know about
That's
this?
what I
Assuming you
thought.
like flop it out, maybe like on someone. That's what I would assume. Like a teabag situation is what I'm assuming, but this is not that.
Like a violent teabag.
This is not that.
I'm so basic minded in this moment that I pictured like ground beef coming out of the shower head, just like,
That's sick.
I know.
All right. So my sources today are an article on Vice by Kaylee Rogers, an article on allthat'sinteresting.com by Katie Serena, an article on Scientific American by Beck Crew, an article on Kentucky.com by Cheyenne Miller, and of course, Wikipedia. So our story is going to be located in Olympia Springs, which is located in Bath County, Kentucky. It's a very, very small town filled with open land, tons of farms. The closest big city is Lexington, Kentucky, which is about an hour away. So in the early afternoon on March 3rd, 1876, in this tiny town of Olympia Springs, a local farmer's wife, Mary Crouch, was outside on her porch making soap. So she's just sitting there boiling some cow and sheep fat down into a substance called tallow, which is apparently used to make soap. So I didn't know.
Hell yeah, it is.
You
Sorry.
would know that.
I'm a redneck,
Are-
so I know these things.
Why are you? Wait, that's
Yeah,
real.
apparently people
Oh,
boil animal fat down and then turn it into soap, and then we put it all over our bodies to clean us.
I knew they did that like in the Middle Ages. I did not realize
That's still the most
You
efficient
yeah.
form of
people
soap.
still
Yes.
Still happens.
clean
Really?
themselves with animal fat.
My brother, he owns a farm, or he used to own a farm. I came from a farming family. Shout out.
Hey, good for you.
And you can use like actually the fat from like goat's milk and stuff like that to make soaps. So that's like when you buy like a goat milk soap, they're using the fat from the milk. They're
Well,
not
milk
actually
is
using
better than
milk.
the fat of the actual animal.
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's normally what it is. If it's not a sustainable practice, they just use the fat from the actual animal. So
Disgusting.
I just want to know who discovered this.
I want to know who's
put it?
rubbing animal fat on their armpits because I can't think of a worse fate.
some freak in the sheets.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Mary Crouch is all boiling down the fat, making her soap. And all of a sudden, something started to rain down from the sky all over her farm. She could hear something hitting the ground. And when she looked up, the sky was completely blue. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. But then all of a sudden, when she looked down, she saw raw pieces of red meat measuring about 2 inches long by 2 inches wide all over her farm. The meat continued to rain down for about 10 minutes, and Mary just sat there watching as these snowflakes of meat rained down all over her.
I'm sorry, just quick, cut this out. Did you guys hear that?
What?
What?
No.
What?
In my headphone, I'm not kidding you, like 2 seconds ago, I just heard like a man's voice going, and we'll do. You guys didn't hear that?
No.
No.
Oh no.
Cassidy,
Okay.
we're not even telling scary stories.
I know, I'm sorry. I just heard it in my headphone. I don't know what to do.
Oh my God,
Okay,
no.
just cut that out.
Whoa.
Don't cut it out.
I think we have to leave it
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, I can't wait to make a video cut of like the miming that happens when something goes wrong on screen.
I just like fucking heard it in my head, and I was like, what the fuck is
That
What
going
if he's
on?
in your closet?
really scary. What if he's in your head?
Oh, shit.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Oh, fuck.
More importantly, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Have you talked? Yeah. Have you talked to your ghost? Like, do you know anything about
I've
it?
yelled at him once. So I do know that my couch is haunted.
How?
What?
And so it's a vintage couch, right? And
Nice.
we always used to joke that it was haunted. And then I had a friend's girlfriend who came over to my house once. Like they came over together after the bar. And she goes, I'm not going to sit on your couch. And I was like, why? She goes, because there's some weird energy attached to it. And I'm not going to sit on it. You should get rid of it. And I was like, oh, shit. And that was like 4 years ago.
And that's why you have men speaking in your fucking headphones.
Never get rid of it.
It's a very nice couch.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Sorry.
spooky
Do you
as
still hear
shit.
him?
Yeah. I mean,
No, I
Oh,
just
okay.
heard him for like a second. That's why I was like, hey, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
I'm just being
Well, how do I come back from that
traumatized.
now? Jeez.
It'll be cut out, please, please.
I think you're on. I think you're on snowflakes, of meat. 'cause
Ah,
that
yes.
made me do it. Yeah.
So Mary's initial reaction to this meat rain was that her husband and son had been in some sort of accident and had gotten chopped into bits, and then the wind picked up the pieces and their flesh was raining down from the sky onto her farm.
Oh my God.
But of course that wasn't the truth. That was just what she thought because anxiety.
I mean, at least if you think that the reality that just random meat is falling down isn't as bad.
That's true. But then Mary thought maybe this was a sign from God. She either thought it was some kind of warning or perhaps a miracle. And before she could even figure out what to do or what the hell was going on, her cat was already eating chunks of the meat off the ground.
Oh no. Oh my god. Imagine like taking a bet that it was either a curse or a miracle and then finding out that you were completely wrong and your cat is cursed.
The cat just goes up, sniffs the meat, and just starts eating it because why not? There's just fucking meat all over the ground. So
I love that.
So Mary just watched her cat basically eat this fillet off the ground, and she was kind of waiting to see if it would get sick, but it just kept eating it and it seemed perfectly fine. So Mary runs inside to the farmhouse and she runs into her husband Alan, who had just come home, and luckily he's not chopped into bits, so that was good. So she grabs Alan, she brings him outside onto the back porch to see what was happening, and the Crouches obviously didn't want to touch the meat because they had no idea what it was, if it was toxic, and they didn't really know what to do or who to tell at this point. So this meat rain had covered enough land to cover an entire football field, and this town was very small, so word obviously got out pretty quickly about this. By the time people had come to the Crouches farm to see this creepy mystery meat on the ground, it actually had dried up and kind of looked more like a jerky instead of a raw meat.
Ew. Ooh.
That's better than raw meat, though.
Your cat ate raw jerky today.
Raw jerky. He ate beef jerky.
Beef jerky.
He got in the pantry and ate a bunch of beef jerky. Then he got sick.
Well, your cat would have loved this mystery meat then.
He definitely would have.
And according to eyewitnesses, the meat looked exactly like something you would buy at a local butcher shop, and there was a lot of it. There was enough meat to fill up a horse wagon at the time, which supposedly could hold about 2,000 pounds of meat.
Wait, a horse wagon? When? Maybe I missed it. What year was this?
1876.
Oh, okay.
So the next day, 2 local hunters come to the farm, and they look at the mystery meat on the ground, and they pick it up and take a bite of it.
Bold. A very bold move. Right?
And
Yeah.
it's disgusting. And upon tasting it, they immediately thought this meat must have come from a deer or a lamb. They were like, yes, that's deer.
They were like, I love raw meat.
Well, apparently at the time, that was just a thing. People like ate raw meat, I guess.
What?
Like, in the 1800s, that was just kind of like normal.
I'm
Why
learning
though?
so much today.
Yeah. The
See, I'm a
1800s, Everyone's a teacher. You just have to teach.
So another
You're doing great.
another hunter named Benjamin Franklin Ellington, not the other Benjamin Franklin, was convinced that this was bear meat based on the greasy feeling of it. And then, of course, he also took a bite of it and he was like, yes, that's what bear meat tastes like. That's a bear. So then, obviously, things are floating around this town. Nobody knows what the hell is going on or what this meat is or where it came from. And that's when the theories started. So our first theory was written by a man in the New York Times, and his name was William Livingston Alden. So he threw out the theory that there was actually a knife fight between a couple men in the town at the time, and they basically chopped each other up into bits, and then a tornado came through Kentucky and swirled up all the pieces of the men and then just plopped the meat from the sky right onto the Crouches farm.
That's straight out of a cartoon.
That's
It's
Sharknado.
100% correct. Yeah.
It's Sharknado with
Meat-nado.
but with dead guys. That's all that is.
It's meat-nado.
It's meat-nado.
Exactly. It's meat NATO.
But obviously, there were no reports of a knife fight, and there were no reports of a tornado going through town that day. And like I said earlier, it was a clear and sunny day, so people were like, okay, you're stupid. That's not a good theory. The same journalist, William Livingston Alden, then proposed a completely different theory. So he said that this meat could possibly be alien meat. So
Now we're talking.
Essentially,
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds realistic.
That's a better theory
Honestly,
already.
the meat NATO? Come on.
I mean, yeah, you know alien meat. Like, that's my favorite. I mean, not alien meat's not my favorite, but
Amanda, put it
alien
on
theories.
the record. Amanda loves alien meat.
I love alien meat.
You never know till you try it. Hey.
So essentially, this guy was saying that this could have been like a meteor shower. And at
Meteor shower.
And at the time, scientists actually believed that meteor showers were a result of a planet exploding into pieces and then Earth passing through and then the rocks coming down like that.
What a wild time to be alive. You're eating raw meat, planets are exploding.
Yeah, the possibilities are endless at this point.
It really
like
is.
physics, the planets just nothing.
does-
We don't know anything about anything.
We don't know anything. When does germ theory come into play? What year was that?
They're still eating raw meat and rubbing themselves with animal fat.
yeah.
You're acting like we
Listen,
don't still do
It's
that.
a wild time.
When's the last time you went out for sushi?
I could not tell you.
Oh, okay. Sorry, we eat sushi a lot here.
I don't eat raw fish, so
I
wouldn't-
love sushi. There's no great places in Memphis.
It's Memphis or landlocked. You don't want that here.
So you guys have to come visit us, is what I'm hearing.
that's true.
Yes, we absolutely do.
We got a Long Beach wedding in September.
That's true.
Long Beach
Yeah.
specifically?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my best friend's getting married out there.
Yeah.
Okay,
See you in
so
Hello.
September.
happy hour.
Yes, actually, that sounds really fun.
I'm third wheeling. I'm not invited to the wedding
Hey.
or this trip, but
Oh,
I'm
no,
gonna
you're
answer
coming
You
my
anyway.
don't have to go
phone.
to the wedding. You can just come stay with me. I have a really, really comfortable couch. I'm not kidding you. It's like the most comfortable
It's
couch.
haunted.
It is
The haunted
haunted.
couch.
I'm not afraid to fuck around with a
it
haunted
is
couch.
haunted.
Yeah, we have a whole haunted house. We can fuck with the haunted
I'd
couch.
prefer my couches haunted. Most of my stuff is secondhand, so I do that in the hopes that there
Yeah.
are
Oh,
spirits
all my
attached to
stuff's
it.
it's all like vintage or secondhand. That's in the same way.
You'll have to take me to all the best shops.
That's exciting.
Very, very.
Okay, sorry.
All right. So, like I said, this guy kind of conducted this theory that a planet that actually had, life forms on it exploded. And this planet must have had alien livestock like alien cows and alien sheeps. And this planet just got blown up. And then the chunks of the alien cow's flesh fell down from the sky in a meteor shower. And he was like, yeah, that makes sense. That's what happened.
I mean, name a better theory.
I thought it was good, personally.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I'm here.
But of course, this theory didn't last too long because a lot of people were like, aliens, really? Come on. But 3 months after this meat rain incident, a scientist named Leopold Brandeis got some samples of the meat and was able to analyze it. So according to this man, the meat was actually not meat at all, but it was a substance called nostoc. I think that's how you say it. So nostoc is a type of bacteria that is found in wet places, mostly like soil, sometimes in the bottom of lakes, sometimes on moist rocks. But a nostoc colony is usually not seen until it rains. And then once it gets wet, it swells up into this translucent jelly material.
And that's why you don't eat fucking meat off the ground. Like, they were just eating this stuff. That is disgusting.
I love that you said that like people do it often. You never eat meat off the ground.
Like,
Don't do it.
what she just said could have literally been a recording of her talking to the cats in her house.
Don't eat meat off
Wait,
the
do y'all
ground.
live together?
Don't do it.
They shouldn't. What?
Do y'all live together?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have like a whole
okay.
compound.
Oh, I
we
wanna
live
go.
we live in like a giant house and there's like 6 of us.
Wow, goals.
Oh yeah, and that's why you have to tell people not to eat meat off the ground.
Yeah. That
Right.
makes sense. Now it's making sense. You have fucking 6 roommates.
There's people, there's cats, everyone's eating meat off the ground. It's crazy.
Statistically, somebody's eating meat off the ground, okay?
That's
At
true.
any given moment.
Yep. Yep.
So this translucent jelly material looked very similar to the Oakville Blobs, which I actually did a whole story about in our episode 21. But there was a few things wrong with this theory. First of all, the chunks that were found on the Crouch's farm were not just on the ground, but they were on top of fences, on the roof, up in the trees. And the only way that, this stuff could have gotten there is if it actually did fall from the sky. But Gnostic just kind of grows up from the ground, so there's no possible way it would have gotten all up in that stuff. And another problem was that Gnostic, like I said, only swells up when it's raining, and it was a clear, sunny day that day. There was no rain at all. Another big issue with this theory was that the chunks of meat that were collected as samples were actually pink in color and looked very similar to actual raw meat. And they also found connective tissue on these samples.
Not connective tissue.
Yeah, not great. So this guy Leopold, his theory wasn't really possible because nostoc is green and it looks and tastes more like seaweed, so not at all like meat. But even though he was very wrong, he was able to send out some samples to other labs. The president of Neward Scientific Association, Dr. A. Mead Edwards, and another doctor.
Edwards. Sorry.
Am I saying that right?
No, I was saying his name was A. Meat Edwards. Sorry, it was really stupid.
A meat, very close.
Puns are important.
They are.
Scientific research.
Thank you.
So him and another doctor named J.W.S. Arnold, they identified the meat, and they said very confidently that it was most likely the lung tissue from either a horse or a human infant based on the samples they were given.
Okay, are those similar?
I don't know.
Does it... I mean, obviously one of those things is worse than the other, but like, again, don't eat fucking meat off the ground. It could be a baby.
But
yeah,
like,
why? Okay, if they were able to just send it in for the samples to be analyzed, why eat it before doing that?
Right. Why are people
what
and
do
not
people in
even cooking
Kentucky
it?
do? I don't know. Is that a thing?
do they make it into
want to
soap?
know
Yeah.
what they do.
What test is there in the United fucking States where they're testing raw meat and they're going, yes, there are a few answers here, and one of the grouped answers is horse lung or baby. Like, what? Why are
They
those
just-
grouped? Am I not wrong? Like, what?
And how are they analyzing it? It's the 1800s. Are they just having a bunch of different people taste it?
They just do a double blind and
Is
have
it
them
all
like feel
tasting?
it blindfolded.
Is this all a taste test?
A lot of these samples were sent out years later. So some of this is like, decades later. And they're still trying to figure out like what could have caused the meat rain. So these people were just thinking that 2,000 pounds of baby lungs fell from the sky and spread over 100 yards. And those are scientists, so they're legit, okay? So...
God, being alive is so...
Listen, we're vibing. It's fine.
Sometimes the vibes are bad. We
Yeah.
always say that. Listen, we are vibing. But
We're
sometimes
vibing.
the vibes are bad.
You
The
just have
vibes-
to feel the vibes. You can't ignore the vibes. You have to work through the vibes. You have to vibe through the vibes.
You
That's
have to
right,
work
baby.
with the vibes, through the vibes.
So the last theory, and this is the one that most people, I guess, think is the true one, is the Vulture Theory. So Kentucky is actually home to large turkey vultures, and these birds are known to projectile vomit to ward off predators.
Oh my God.
And sometimes
Same.
they'll even force themselves to vomit if they've consumed too much food right before they take off in flight. So many scientists propose the theory that a bunch of vultures were feeding on a dead deer or a dead lamb, and they got spooked by something, so they immediately took off flying. And since they had just consumed such a large amount of meat, they just projectile vomited all over the Crouch's farm.
Again, and people decided to pick it up off the ground and eat it.
And
They sure did.
People would have to come to the pretty disgusting realization that they might have eaten vulture barf off the ground. But it would also explain why some of the chunks of meat were like all different sizes. So people were like, oh yeah, that makes sense if it was like chewed up and then projectile vomited all over the farm.
How do you come back from that?
You don't. That's how. You fucking
I would die.
don't.
I would absolutely die.
Oh, I would cut out my tongue.
Yeah. This makes me feel the same way that I feel when, have you ever like watched maybe on America's Funniest Home Videos, where someone is like holding a baby above them and they're like shaking them and the baby throws up.
Oh my
and
God,
it goes, like,
no.
Into the
their
mouth?
That's my like.
Yeah.
Oh my God, no.
That's how I feel
no.
right now.
It's
Yeah.
that times 10.
Yeah,
it's
called
that times 10.
baby birding,
Yeah.
chewing the food,
Don't.
Oh, yeah.
throwing it up
Don't.
into people's. No,
Don't say that to me.
Literally
Stop.
baby birding. If it's vultures.
Don't.
Baby
Don't say
vulture.
that to me. Don't.
I'm so sorry. Listen, you talked
No
about dead
wonder
birds
you
hitting me
hate
in the
birds.
head, so
Have you guys heard the conspiracy that like birds aren't real?
Yes.
yeah, they're robots.
Yeah.
They're killed by the Reagan administration.
We should do a lesson on that.
I have it on my list.
Yes, do it.
Oh, okay.
I've literally been
Yeah,
to the
you
Birds
should.
Aren't Real website, looked at it, and thought, not today.
Yeah, that's how I feel every time.
Can't
Every
handle it.
time it pops
Yeah.
up, I just
Not yet.
can't
Yeah.
mentally get there.
Oh my God.
So there's this dude. He's a professor at Transylvania University, and his name is
Wow.
Kurt Goad, and he became obsessed with the Kentucky meat shower and basically did, yes, that's the name of it, the Kentucky
Sorry,
meat
the
shower.
name is so awful.
He gets to Kentucky and he's like, I totally misinterpreted the name of this.
He's like, that's
thought
not
there-
what I thought, but you know what? Still gonna
Right.
look into it.
I only packed leather. So
So he ends up getting his hands on like the very last surviving samples of this mystery meat and decides that he wants to investigate it himself to figure out, you know, what the fuck it is. So he actually sends it off to labs, and then they determine that this meat was like so beyond contaminated because it's like 100 years old that they really can't do anything with it. So in 2007, he worked with a taste laboratory and was actually able to create a jelly bean that supposedly tasted exactly like the meat that had fallen from the sky.
What in the Harry Potter hell is that? That's sickening.
You know, the meat jelly bean.
he woke up and chose violence.
He really did. So the option wasn't, they can reconstruct the DNA of like dinosaurs. Why can't he, maybe that's not true. I don't know. But
There's a very famous movie series based on that.
and it is
And it is facts.
Anyway, I feel like they could pull out some kind of DNA sequence from this and make a guess.
Yeah.
But instead they made a jelly bean that tasted like it.
yeah, he made
And
a
now we're
jelly
going to
bean.
all eat the jelly bean and decide what kind of meat it tastes like.
And you fed it to your dad on Christmas morning.
That happened. I gave my
he-
dad a fish flavored jelly bean. And he
A
threw
what
up.
flavor?
That was fish.
Ew.
Oh.
It was one of the Harry Potter ones.
Does it
What
actually taste
again?
like fish?
I don't know. I didn't taste it. I
Oh.
wasn't.
What in the
He
Harry
ate
Potter
it.
hell is going on?
Really?
Listen, meat shower jelly beans. It's good. No.
I swear to God. Swear to God.
I'll find them. I'll find them.
I'm just begging.
Can you buy them?
I'm
I don't know.
begging.
Maybe.
I'm begging to be
I'd eat one.
deleted out of this matrix.
All you have to do is like get some random meat and strewn it about your yard, wait 100 years
You
and
have
go
to.
pick it up.
You have to eat the meat and then throw
Wait
it up into your
100
yard.
years.
That's true. It's a generational curse, really, is what it is.
So most people actually said that the jelly bean tasted like a strawberry pork chop, which I don't know. That
What?
doesn't sound
What
so
is
bad.
that?
Strawberry pork chop? What
I
the
don't
fuck
know.
is that?
I don't know.
I've had wine that tastes like that. It's not bad.
That's
It
true.
sounds bad, but it doesn't taste bad.
Listen,
I'm
I'm
having
gonna
an
find these
existential
jelly
crisis.
beans. I'm gonna find them. I'm gonna contact Kurt Goad, and I'm gonna get them.
Please do. I'd pay literally any amount of money for that.
Perfect.
I'd like to try it. 100-year-old vulture throw up.
So, regardless of what these jelly beans actually tasted like, it's pretty safe to say that the raw meat that was consumed in 1876 was probably really fucking disgusting, and the actual explanation for the Kentucky meat shower is still considered a mystery.
Wow,
Wow,
bravo.
they never figured out. That was amazing.
Those were too. Did you guys plan those stories to be
We did not.
pair?
No.
Actually.
Wow. Wow, how kismet. That was fantastic.
We have a tendency to do that.
We do.
We'll accidentally coordinate.
You guys are mind melded.
Yeah.
We've been
birds
around each other
everywhere.
too long.
Our periods are totally in sync, right?
Yeah.
And then like sometimes she'll text me and be like, "Are you sad today?" And I'm like, "I am sad today. How'd you know? And she'll be like, "Yeah, I just knew."
I always
Aww.
Haley,
Okay,
you need
you
to be a better
guys.
friend to me. You never texted me if I was sad today.
We've never talked about our feelings ever.
That's true.
You
We
never
do
talk
that.
about your feelings?
Oh, we love to cry and
No.
throw up. Both.
Our main feelings, like, I love that for you guys. Our main feelings are like, I felt anxious this week. And I'm like, yeah, me too.
Yeah, we have
It was
that too.
bad. Yeah. That's like the main feeling is anxiety.
Yeah. Anxiety or
Stress.
Yeah.
And that
That's
doesn't
just
result
that's just
in
the main
crying
feeling.
or throwing up at all? Because it does for us.
Not usually. Today
of
I
the
did
two.
tear up in front of my students because I was just like, none of them had their cameras on and I couldn't see any of their faces and they weren't doing their work. And I was just like, I can't want this for you. And I also then went on like a tangent about how I felt disrespected and then they all turned their cameras on and it was really sad.
It's crazy.
Virtual
You have-
school is hard, you guys. They don't care.
You guys
It's
both
hard.
have such important jobs.
I know.
My job is useless.
I serve
probably
people
not.
food, so
I
That is an important job.
take pictures of
It's
food.
very- that sounds like a
Also,
fun job
yeah,
and maybe
sounds
not
great.
important but fun. And my job is not fun right now.
but
Hard.
important.
Yeah, it's hard.
You're molding
told
the
a
minds of young people.
I told a preschooler yesterday that I expected more of him. So if that doesn't tell you,
Right, bitch. Yeah, sure.
yeah, that doesn't tell you. Yeah, our main feeling, we do share our feelings, and it's anxiety and stress.
Yeah, you don't share your feelings with me because you share your feelings with your children.
Yeah, so that's how we got our podcast where we still teach. We teach
Yeah.
what we want to teach, but we just drink about it.
Yeah, there's no
instead.
feelings on this podcast.
Yeah, I feel like you guys have not drank nearly enough red wine tonight.
I mean,
Oh, I'm
Oh, the box
great.
is empty.
she's running low. But we this was not a one night job. This has been a work in progress since
Right.
Monday.
And you
Monday.
guys have been the ones who've been teaching lessons. I'm sure once the tables are turned, it'll be more apparent.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna
as
get
to what's going
fucked
on.
up.
Yes. Oh, should we breathalyze? We have our breathalyzer.
Oh, I want to get a breathalyzer.
Yeah, you should get fucked
Yeah,
up.
we decide every episode who goes first based on who's drunker from the breathalyzer,
Oh, that's a great idea.
and it is a fun thing. Except we had to spend like $200 on a breathalyzer because our other one was bad. Thanks
It's worth it,
Patreon.
though. Yeah.
That resets it.
I should not have pulled that thing out.
Yeah. Now we're gonna add another 30 minutes.
Yeah. I only hurt myself.
Do you want me to just
We still
mix
have to
it?
edit night classy
Okay.
tonight.
Yeah, all right. We'll just put it away. Just know that I'm taken care of and I shouldn't drive.
Okay.
God, we need a producer to freaking get us like
Yeah.
situated.
You want us to
should.
put your Patreon link in our show notes and help you out, hire a producer?
I think a producer would just be like, "What the fuck are you guys talking about?" Like, it would
Big,
just,
is Amanda peeing her pants again? That's always what it would be.
are you guys crying and throwing up again?
Amanda's always crying or peeing her pants.
Yes, Cassidy. Yes, I
Wow.
am. That's what happens
In a
when
good way.
when you're gonna
Oh,
turn
yeah.
30. Okay.
I mean, I peed my pants a lot within the past couple years. The first day of the new year in 2020, I pooped my pants. So pooped. Yes, I pooped my pants. I got brunch with a friend. I had coffee, and then I had a 40-minute drive. And I drove to my dad's house and did not make it to the toilet. I shat my pants.
Oh,
That was
Hard.
that was the first day of last year. So this year we started out on a new note.
Yeah.
You didn't shit your pants
I
this
said
year.
2020.
Oh, okay.
Listen, it only makes sense that you shit yourself in 2020.
Yeah, that would be the year that within the first 12 hours.
Listen, we've all
make sense.
shit our pants before. Okay, it's
I've
happened.
never shit my
Yes.
pants.
Well,
I
I'll
don't
speak for
think I
myself.
shit my
Excuse
pants
me.
either.
We were all babies. We've all shat our
Kat, you haven't shat your pants?
I haven't shot my pants, but I've peed my pants as an adult like way too many times to count. I pee my pants all the time.
What?
Me.
Same here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just happens. It just happens. One time, this is embarrassing. Maybe we'll have to edit this out. But I was taking, you know, when you have a UTI and you take those like orange pills and then they make your pee bright orange. I accidentally peed my pants because I had walked home from like my class and it was a long walk and I really had to pee. And then like I walked in the door and just peed my pants and it got on the carpet and I stained my carpet orange because my pee was dyed bright red from those pills.
Can you just say it was Gatorade?
Happens.
It's fine.
I never said it was anything. I never like told a soul. I just left it. It was in my bedroom,
Oh, there
thankfully.
you go.
Yeah,
for
we got
you.
our security deposit back, so I think it was all right.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. One time the garage door, the sound of it opening, I had to go pee so bad and I like walked home from school and the sound of the garage door opening, like the sound, like it made me pee my pants. It was like the sound of the sink, the water coming out, but it was the garage door and it just was unleashed. So
Wow.
I guess we're sharing
I'm so
stories.
glad that I'm
You
not the
guys
only
did not
one
set
that
up.
just pees themselves because Cassidy doesn't understand it.
I feel left out. I've never pooped my pants
know what,
and I've never
Cassidy?
peed my pants.
Pee your pants tonight, okay? Just try it.
I feel
I'm
get
peeing
so-
my pants right now.
Yeah, keep drinking and get to 4 out of 4 and then you should be able
In the
to
closet.
easily
I'm going.
That just looks like me when I was like having a panic attack.
Yeah.
You're like, it looked like you were swimming underwater.
I might have peed during that moment. I don't know.
Also, your nails look great. They're really inspiring me for my next set.
Thank you.
I like them
Thank
a lot.
you.
You look good.
You're welcome.
I've been just doing press-ons lately because I can't go
Nice.
to the nail
Right.
place.
I got a nail kit for
Yeah.
Christmas for that reason.
Yes.
Same. I've
Yeah.
been doing powder dip and they're kind of growing
Ooh.
out and I want them to grow out super long, like fake nails. But it's taking a long time.
Ooh, those are your real nails?
Yeah.
Oh, they look nice.
Thank you. I've been working
do.
hard on them.
My real nails are
In a project.
trash, so.
Oh, I've been growing mine out.
Mine
you have?
too.
Oh, yours look good too.
Yeah, they do.
You should get some powder dip. It's actually really easy to do at home.
Polygel is not.
How do you
I'm-
get it? Do you get it on Amazon or what? What are we talking
Yeah. Yeah. You just order it from Amazon. And it puts like a coating on your nail. Like my nails feel fake. Like they're super hard, but it's my real nails.
I'll get you some dip powder, Cass.
All right. Well,
Is Alex? I feel like Alex. Like, okay, let's go.
he gave us a signal. But yeah, this was so fun. I can't wait until the next time we record. Thank you guys so much for going first. That was very kind of you.
So
course.
kind. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You are so
And
welcome.
we appreciate
Alec, you better edit out every time I sound like a dumbass.
Oh yeah, I'll clean this up. You have no idea.
Don't edit out
Best in the biz.
anytime Cassidy sounds like a dumbass because it's rare, and I always sound like a dumbass. So
Not true.
Yeah, not true.
Not
You
true
guys
at
did
all.
so good. It makes me feel I have big shoes to fill next time.
Right. Now we actually have to teach. The teachers
yes,
have to teach.
and I be prepared
how the
because we're
turntables.
gonna be really drunk next time, like really drunk.
Please
Yeah.
get
So
so,
are we.
fucking smashed.
No, I'm gonna
be. Please do. And thank you guys for listening. And 3, 2, 1.
Class dismissed.
Yay!
Beautiful.